It isn't bad.
And what a magnificent weekend. The Blues come home and beat the Magpies. It's nearly as good as the Premiership. You don't have to wave the flags in here.
That's right.
Well,
Fabulous.
Peter, it's only 17 days of the start of the footy season. Carlton is playing Richmond at the MCG. Are you going?
No.
Oh. North has got to wait until Sunday the 5th of April to play Adelaide in Adelaide.
That's a fair way off.
Yes?
Isn't it?
Oh,
And it's in Adelaide.
22 days.
Are you going over?
No, I'm not. No. I think it'll be too many cars on the road. It's Easter.
Oh, it will be too. That's right.
Yes.
Easter is early this year.
Yes, so
Yeah.
I think we oldies stay home in public holidays so we don't get run over.
That's right. Stay off the road.
Yes. Peter, let me tell you about Neighbourhood Watch. We've started the season. We started early on Tuesday the 3rd of March in South Blackburn, visiting a number of streets that were being subject to a wave of house burglaries and theft from motor vehicles. The Neighbourhood Watch team delivered a police letter to residents in the area asking them to take more care and lock up. Now, the next field activity is Tuesday the 31st of March, and we will visit a local police hotspot and carry out some work, giving notices to residents to take care, or whatever it might be. Lock up the dogs, hang on to your handbag, whatever it is an issue at the time with the police. And then our next major event is Safe Plate Day at Bunnings Box Hill, 10 o'clock till 3 o'clock. On Saturday the 18th of April, we will replace the number plate screws with anti-theft screws, and this takes about 10 minutes of your time and will cost you a gold coin donation. And the local police will be on duty helping out with this exercise, and we guarantee to put your number plates back on your car.
Has that been an issue in the past?
We have thought about it to create a bit of fun. Gets a bit boring having to put them back, the same ones.
Oh.
But anyway, it's important, very important, that we solve this problem, because number plate theft is still running riot in areas. It seems to move from spot to spot. Let's move on to Street Watch and local police detail. I just wanted to remind your listeners that the Whitehorse Leader Street Watch article, usually on page 7, gives Whitehorse residents a very brief indication of some trouble spots in Whitehorse, where people are passing $50 notes and handing in using your credit card to make their purchases at the liquor store, etc. Neighbourhood Watch on its website, and I've got to get this right, nhw.com.au/Whitehorse/crime trends, will give all Whitehorse residents a bigger coverage of what has happened around them. Each report is for a period of 7 to 8 days, supplied by the Crime Prevention Officer at Box Hill. Now, in each one of those reports, there are 4 reports for the month. So I suppose it's late last month and the early part of this month, and that tells you where things are happening. And I collected some detail in the period of the 9th of Feb to the 8th of March, that's rushing the calendar on, 63 residential burglaries spread across Whitehorse. No suburb is spared.
Jeez.
65 thefts from motor vehicles across all Whitehorse suburbs, and they took coins, tools, laptops, mobile phones, golf clubs, credit cards, number plates, clothing, and $300 from a wallet. They left the wallet. Please lock up your vehicles at your home and your tool shed. During this period, there were 80 thefts of handbags, purses from shopping trolleys, including credit cards, tools and equipment, and from goods from building sites, even doormats and bicycles.
Doormats were stolen.
Yes.
Why would somebody steal a doormat?
Well, I need a new doormat.
Oh, are you putting yourself in the frame for this, are you?
No, but people do need doormats.
Apparently.
But, look, whether they need them or not, they're things that's are stolen. Not sure how you can nail it down.
No, a bit difficult.
My answer is never put a new doormat at the front door.
No, wear it in a bit at the back door.
Yes, and put the old one at the front.
That's right.
And they're not as interested in your old mat.
No.
I guess, Peter, you've read in the local paper, and if you haven't already got a speeding fine, let me remind you all again. The last government was bringing in new speed limits, where some roads had dropped from 70 to 60. And over from October to January, we had Blackburn Road between Highbury Road and Canterbury Road, Maroondah Highway, Whitehorse Road between Peacedale Grove and Lindsley Street. I think that's about near the police station.
Ah, yes.
About there. And Baronia Road between Canterbury Road and Cotswold Close. Well, again, Canterbury Road and where you cross over the creek. They have all been dropped to 60. And, of course, we were warned there was more to follow. The answer is no. The state government has put a hold on any further changes. They don't believe it's of any value. So now we're in the middle of the pie. Some are 60, some are 70, some are 80, some are 90. Who knows what they are?
As if we're not confused enough.
You are right. So my message is drivers, take care with the changing speed limits in force. And might I tell you about this? I've mentioned this intersection before. Whitehorse and Surrey Roads. It's a T intersection, and it also has some school speed restriction signs. Has some adjustments during 2014, and it's one of the 25 top earning speed camera sites. In July to September 2014, 2,208 drivers were nabbed speeding.
They well and truly pay for themselves, don't they?
Don't they?
Cameron?
Now remember, there is a period of time in the morning and the afternoon when I think the speed limit, in fact, is 40.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's another one.
It's crazy.
So I did some calculation. At $100 per fine, that equals $220,000 plus dollars, less your demerit points. And if it was $200 per fine, that is near $500,000.
Whoa.
Hey, I'd like shares in one of those cameras.
I think I would too.
But it's compounded, as we're saying, by this variation in speed limits. And I'm not sure. I'm always in trouble for not reading the last speed sign. I said, well, I'm busy watching the road.
Watching the road, exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
And I remember some years ago a father going crook that he had taken his son from roughly Ringwood to Dandenong on Stud Road. Mm-hmm. His son was learning to drive.
Straight line, straight as an arrow, due south. Yep.
With about 10 intersections. And the father reported that there were 16 changes of speed on that road. And he said, how my son can keep up with that and drive.
And drive, that's right.
He said, I don't know.
No.
Anyway, that really, at $500,000, you got to learn fast.
Yes, although I will say this, Ray, in recent times, I think we've discussed before the fact that I drive as little as possible these days in the metropolitan area. I find it easier to get around on public transport anyway. But the reason for that is, apart from the ease of getting around with public transport, the traffic is just horrendous these days. And I'm not talking just peak hours. I find that even off-peak, in the middle of the week, or even at weekends, the traffic is continually, it's getting more and more congested everywhere you go. So your chance of breaking the speed limit these days is fairly remote anyway, because you have to drive slowly because of the traffic.
You'll get charged for being abusive. But you're right, and I've heard people say that Saturday morning, Saturday lunch, afternoon is like peak hour time.
It is.
There are that many people out and around.
Incredible.
But here, Peter, adding to this, the problem that you've highlighted, there's so many more cars. I don't know whether you know Queen Street, Blackburn. It runs off Whitehorse Road opposite the Blackburn Hotel.
Yes,
down
I
to
know.
the Blackburn
Yep.
station.
Okay, got it.
Now, this is one of those areas that's been identified as high density living because it's close to public transport and all those advantages. And I think that they think that everybody lives there doesn't have a car.
Right.
Now, Queen Street, where it might have had the Anglican Church and 20 houses, is in the process of being transformed into high density living. And it's worth going down there to have a look. It might take you 10 minutes to get from one end to the other.
Yeah.
And I don't suppose it's any more than a quarter of a kilometre long. And I think it has the potential for something like about 400 units.
Oh.
Now, the current block that's being built there, the hole in the ground took, I think, 91,000 cubic metres of soil out of the ground to put in car park and all those things. And there'll be 100 units in that block.
And there'd probably at least one car for
Guaranteed.
each of those. Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Oh,
Yeah.
a nightmare.
So,
Poor planning. What's
Yeah.
wrong with the council?
well, I think they're overridden so often by the state government, and that's both governments.
And VCAT. If you've got a problem, go to VCAT.
Yes, although
They solve it.
VCAT have lost some. I mean, people have lost some by going to VCAT, but nevertheless, it's the state government
Yeah.
rules, and that
Absolutely.
gives everybody the out clause, no matter what the city of Whitehorse or Monash or Burundara say.
Yes.
They're defeated on that because of state government rules, and this planning for, is it 2030?
Yeah.
And now I think they've got another set of plans for 2050. So, Peter, I must get on. Here's a point to think about. Don't be distracted when driving. In-car distractions are a major cause of lack of attention to the road, and this can lead to collisions. This amazed me. The distraction or inattention in 1 or 2 seconds might not seem like much for a car travelling at 60 kilometres an hour. Will travel more than 16 metres for each second. So just 1 second in inattention plus the normal reaction time of 1.5 seconds allows a vehicle to travel more than 40 metres before braking or steering will take effect. And I
That's
guess
significant.
that's an argument why we ought to slow down.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. And I went on. Distractions in the car can include food, drink, mobile phones, radio, or putting on your makeup,
Seen that.
or eating your breakfast out of a bowl.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen
Seen
that
it.
too.
Yeah.
And the other part is the fine is 221 through to 17,000 or imprisonment. I guess if you've injured somebody who's in the other vehicle or whatever, that's the big penalty in some
Yeah,
cases,
yeah.
no matter how much money you pay.
Yeah. Our cars today are too much like sitting in your lounge room.
Yes,
That's all.
and I find you're driving down the highway and you don't even hear police or ambulance because your car is so locked up. You're listening to the radio or music. I think there ought to be a device on the dashboard.
Alert to emergency
yes,
vehicles.
there's an emergency
That's a good
vehicle in
thought.
your area. Yeah,
There might be an opportunity for us there, Ray.
we could make
We
the
should
moves.
explore that. Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure a lot have thought about it. Listen, if you want to see a little bit of Melbourne on TV, Tuesday nights at 7:30 on Channel 72, one of the many police shows, Highway Patrol. This is the Victorian police doing what they do best. They certainly have to endure many grumpy people and incidents.
Yeah,
And the other night they were in Baronia Road, I think,
Right.
under the freeway.
Yes.
Under the bridge, that's how I can recognise it. But they're often in Canterbury Road. That seems to be a good racetrack. And for me to finish off, Peter, in the March issue of Whitehorse E-News, and you've probably already read about this, a very interesting article on the work of the Metropolitan Fire Brigade in saving lives. The article gives some brief detail of their training, their link up with Ambulance Victoria, and now they're moving into the CFA, and that is important. As a result of fire brigades going to emergencies that would normally be serviced by an ambulance, it's recorded that they've saved over 150 lives because they got that attention to the person who has collapsed or whatever before the ambulance got there.
Yes, first
Made the
responders,
difference.
Yes.
And now it's moving into the CFA. And if you've missed out on Whitehorse E-News, you can email whitehorse at nhw.com.au or phone 0418 596 831 to order an E-News. And in emergencies, phone 000 000. Don't call the local police, phone 000 and tell them. And I think we're out of time, Peter.
I think we are very
And
close.
I'll see you at Bunnings for Safe Plate Day, and you'll bring along your roller so that we can get the number plates
I
on.
will, yeah, but I'm not sure that I can trust you. Now, you're talking about swapping plates, and I'm not too sure I want to do that to the roller. RR1, that's my reach number on the roller.
Well, at least we would be able to pick it if somebody took it.
That'll be
Well,
a good day.
Thank you, Peter, and I will see you about this time next month.
I shall look forward to that. Ray Summers from Neighbourhood Watch. Thanks, mate. Terrific, and we'll talk again shortly. It's